It is 6:04. Call the meeting to order of the April 28th Planning Board meeting, April 28th, 2022. My name is Stephanie Slish. I'm the chair of the Planning Board. All the way at the end, I have Jimmy Tart, alternate chair, and to my right, I have Paul Dostal, and to my left, I have Bob Wagner on the Planning Board. I have Gerard Bueno, our administrative assistant, over there as well. And thanks to John Novak for videotaping this. This first item on the agenda is public forum. This is a time for folks to come and speak to the board to bring a concern or make a comment that is not related to something that is on the agenda. So this is now a time for anyone that would like to come forward to the mic that would like to speak to something that is not a part of the agenda. Give folks a minute to do that, if there's anyone virtually who wants to do that. If not, we could then close public forum and move to opening the public hearing portion of the agenda. So I'm going to read the hearing notice that was in the newspaper. The Planning Board will conduct a public hearing on Thursday, April 28th, 2022 at 6 p.m. in Town Hall. Applicant Straits Road LLC is seeking a special permit with site plan approval from the board pursuant to section 3.11 and 3.12 of Hatfield zoning bylaws. The special permit would be use of existing agricultural farmland for the purpose of marijuana cultivation, both outdoor and in greenhouses, at 140A North Hatfield Road, Assessor's Map 211, Lot 34. The complete application is available for inspection at the clerk's office in Town Hall during office hours. The applicant is here, Bernie Smorowski. Generally what happens is we have the person share their application, the plans for the parcel, and then folks have opportunity to speak either in support or in opposition to the proposal. Then there's an opportunity for the board to ask questions to supporters, opposers, and the applicant. And then we would make a determination. However, it's come to our attention that, is it the engineer, Bernie, or? The engineer for the project is sick with, and is not able to wasn't able to make the meeting tonight. And someone else from that same Berkshire Design Group that could come didn't feel that they would necessarily have all the answers to all of our questions, like Chris Chamberlain would for the public and for us tonight. So with that, unfortunately, we have to continue the hearing, and we do have a meeting planned for next Wednesday at 6 o'clock, and so it would make sense to vote to continue the hearing till then so we can have a robust discussion then, unfortunately, for everyone that came out tonight.
Well, I'll make a motion that we close tonight's public hearing and continue it until our next regularly scheduled meeting, which is May 4th at 6 p.m.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Motion passes, and the meeting is being continued until next week, Wednesday at 6 o'clock. If anybody cannot make that meeting and would like the opportunity to have their testimony heard, we would appreciate, we can send it to Gerard in writing, and we'll also read that at that meeting there if that doesn't work for folks. Sorry to have this delayed.
And it'll also be held virtually like this one. Mm-hmm. So if someone can't come downtown or is not around in town, they could join via the Zoom option.
Yep. Mr. Masta?
Can I have the opportunity to speak?
Yep.
Sure. Yeah, you just have to come down to the microphone so we can capture what you have to say.
So, Greg O'Master, 123 North Hatfield Road. So, I guess my concern with just what happened with you voting to postpone this another week, I think that's fine, but I don't think a week is sufficient. I think we should put this up a couple weeks. And the reason being, it's not fair to the people that showed up here tonight. This is the second time it's been postponed. I don't know if it's legal. I don't know if it's ethical. But I think there's something stinks and it's not marijuana. And I think it would be in the best efforts and your board and the people that are here not to every other week have this meeting postponed.
I
you.
understand, and to make we actually, the reason why we have to do all of these, like why we postponed last time, was in order to make this legal and in order for us to do this the right way. And we can't help if someone is sick, and I apologize and understand it's an inconvenience for folks. And we have a meeting scheduled for next week anyway, and so that's what would make the most sense.
It is, I will say that the continuation of the meeting hearing tonight to next week, and it being just a week, is 100% legal, because the posted time for the original hearing, which was tonight, met all the requirements of the open meeting law. And you can continue a hearing without necessarily having all of those additional postings that you would for the initial hearing, because people are here, we're letting you know that it's going to be next week. This is actually a special meeting for us. Our typical planning board meeting is the first Wednesday of every month. People know that. It gives everyone here another week perhaps to prepare, to review the documentation. I'm not really sure what Chris is down with, but we are still in a pandemic phase in this country, and so he could have COVID. I don't know, but I think it's fair to say that he's not, they're not gaslighting us here.
Can I just speak or do I have to come up?
You can, I just don't want this turn into everyone has the opportunity to speak now, because this is also the opportunity to speak next week to the project.
All right, so I just wanted Rob Wyckoff, 4 Hatfield Road. My question is, there's no way I can be here next week. I took tonight off from work to be here, and I'm out of town next week. So for someone like me, my only option is to submit in writing my testimony?
Yeah, or join virtually if
So there's no reason, no way, or no possibility that the people that are here today could have any kind of discussion, regardless of whether or not there's everybody who might be able to answer questions. I mean, I don't have everybody to answer questions for me or to present my case that I'd like to have. We can't go forth with what we have and who we have right now and just leave that on the table for you to consider when you reconvene. You know, you'll have that info that's discussed tonight. Just take it with you into the next meeting. Is that not possible?
The way that the public hearing the format is set up is the opportunity is to have the applicant explain their whole project in the beginning, and then there's the opportunity for the public to comment on it, because we want to make sure that everyone has all of the information before they get up and comment whether they support.
However, I will be submitting a written argument without all that information. How is that somehow different?
Correct. It's a way to make sure that your voice is heard in this process.
Why don't we just have our voices heard now? What's
We
the difference
technically
between
already
writing-
voted to close the meeting, and so that would actually be probably more illegal and not allowed.
I would
with
submit
open
it in
meeting laws.
writing. Would be my suggestion.
We really do understand your frustration. We are as frustrated. I feel terrible that you took the night off from work, and that's inexcusable on our part. Oh, excuse me, on the applicant's part, to not be able to produce the engineer for this thing. And I understand people being sick, but this is the second time we've gone through this. The first time was our mistake. The second time is not a mistake. But I think the people in town who have showed up now twice for this meeting deserve to have their voice heard.
Well, I just think it's not unreasonable for more than a week. That's all. I think that's really unreasonable. I mean, most plans are done out for a week. I think that's unreasonable, but what can I do?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's fair to say that this project is probably going to have more than one. We're going to continue the hearing again. You'll have another opportunity.
Okay, I hope so. I would like to hear the presentation before I submit my argument. But if that's my only option, I might have to.
Well, the material, the written material, the printed material, the maps are all available in the clerk's office.
Is that what I can assume is going to be their presentation?
It'll have the benefit of having more detail, but you can read through what's presented and at least the basis that'll be presented.
And where does a written submission go to? Just
It'll go to Gerard, and we'll read them and make sure they're part of the record.
Okay,
As well.
all right, thank you.
Yeah, and Bernie?
I'd just like to add that we could have had the meeting tonight with another engineer who is just not well-versed in our project. He's not the lead engineer. The lead engineer is Chris Chamberlain, and he's done many cannabis projects. So we thought, my partners and I, thought it was in the best interest of the townspeople that we have the most knowledgeable person, answering your questions and concerns. So I'm not gonna bring in somebody who's not well-versed and make me look like, I'm not well-prepared, or we're not doing the right things, which we are.
Yeah. With that.
Yeah, a question in the back.
Yeah.
I think maybe you could have been here virtually. That's always an option today.
We suggested that, but he didn't, he went into a few details with his illness, but he didn't feel comfortable going on camera with his condition.
Will his condition be settled by next week?
I would think so.
Are there any close contacts with him?
I don't know.
Who can't, who shouldn't be here next week in a room full of 20 people,
We don't know if it's COVID or not.
right?
He didn't specify.
I would assume it.
I don't think it is, from what he told me. I don't
Okay.
think
I would like, I would, excuse me for 1 second. I would like to make a statement to you, Bernie, and to your company. Be here next week with everything that you need to have here, no more excuses. If Chris Chamberlain can't make it in person, he should be here virtually, or he should inform somebody in his company all the information that he has. These people have a right to get an answer, and because your engineering company fell down short today, they're sitting here wondering what the hell's going on. So next week, be prepared, 100% prepared. That's my opinion. Okay? All these people out here and all the other people that live up North Hatfield Road are concerned about this project, and they have viable interest in what's going on in their neighborhood. So be timely, get your people here, and have everything in order.
I understand that, but I can't control if somebody's sick.
Then have him inform somebody else about what needs to be brought here.
He did, but we disagreed with him. I want the people of Hatfield to hear firsthand from a professional, from the person who is doing our project, who knows the ins and outs, to answer their concerns.
I understand that completely, but these people have now shown up twice. Once our fault, once your fault. So let's not let it happen again. Let's just be here next week at the meeting prepared.
We absolutely will.
It's not that complicated.
May I make a comment to Michael's question? So, Michael, I think having Chris or anybody make a presentation via Zoom would be particularly awkward. We don't have a big screen. I mean, if we had a big screen here where you could actually be able to have the AV like you would at the high school or at a college, to be able to show it, I think it would be a disservice to you all as well as to the applicants. So I unfortunately, I just don't think that's a good option for us. You know, it's just the way it is. I wish we did. I wish we had that kind of stuff at town meeting, for that matter, so we could actually see maps and that kind of thing, but.
So, Bob, just one more comment. So what Jimmy said is well spoken. I think our concerns as a whole here, whoever is opposing or not in favor of this project, is concerned that if they can't even present the project at a meeting that's scheduled, how are they gonna manage it if it goes into play? And I think that's a concern that we all have. So that's my final comment. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I think we should move. I understand your opinions and your concerns. People get sick, and this is the process we have to follow. And I apologize that your night was inconvenienced. And hopefully we can see you all and hear all your opinions next week. Now, anything next on the agenda here? We have minutes approval. Oop, I don't think I have any of those. I don't think I got those in my packet, Gerard.
Yeah, I didn't get any either.
We have time. Do you have a
I
second?
didn't mean to be nasty, but you guys need to come prepared. Period.
They went to a special town meeting last year to stop this because it was already on. But if you leave the stuff out, people are trying to sell their houses because the smell is so bad.
How much notice did you have?
This morning. He sent a text last night, like maybe this is gonna happen, kind of thing, but we're gonna see how he feels tomorrow.
You should tell those guys to go out.
Then Gerard, yeah. Do you mind guys going outside? We're gonna try to continue our meeting. Thank you. All right.
Submit my questions now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, we'll attach it to
So
this.
you're not going to be here either next week?
Oh, no,
Food for thought ahead of time.
maybe not.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
Oh, yeah, I have, yeah.
All right, so minutes review, we're taking, did anyone get a chance to review them yet, or is?
I had a chance to review them. They look fine to me.
They looked fine to me, too. It wasn't a
Yeah, I saw it
complicated
online.
situation.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of April 6th,
I second.
2022.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, meeting minutes are approved from April 6th. Our next scheduled meeting is next Wednesday, May 4th. It looks like the bulk of the meeting, or the only thing on the agenda right now, is the continued hearing that we continued from tonight. So we will see everyone there.
So I
And
actually have a question
anything else?
about potential upcoming projects. So we have not heard anything back from the solar folks on,
Frostburg, no.
what about the hotel?
No, nothing,
Marlene-
nothing formal.
Marlene said he's talking to the building inspector, but I don't know to what extent and when that project will then come to us.
On the hotel? Okay. And
There's another one on.
What about the
Straits Road.
project next to Englehart's?
That's the one we were talking
That's
about.
what
the
we're talking
solar,
about?
yeah.
Okay.
What's that? Oh, that's the
Solar project?
But then there was another one regarding Mr.
The wood processing.
Hebert on Straits Road that remember he came to us last fall.
Looking at a
He
subdivide
had a
that
32
property.
acres. Wanted to put in.
Plain Road.
Plain Road, I'm
Plain
sorry,
Road.
not-
Yeah,
Frankie's really upset,
Plain
worried
Road.
about that.
Yeah.
Frank's really worried about that one.
He's actually reached out
Yeah, who the fucking
to
knows?
Mike Poshak. So
Nothing.
there's some communications that I can speak to you about.
Okay,
okay. And how about Cotton Tree Farm?
I
Nothing
haven't
from
heard.
them.
or whatever they're called, yeah.
Right.
Nothing.
Okay. I will note, Kyle, I think maybe, I don't think he mentioned this at a meeting, but the Helena people have actually indeed now planted their
Trees.
They're
their
screening.
trees. They're screening trees.
Yeah.
They're what?
Trees.
They were supposed to put in trees to screen their operation from Hatfield Village, and the
Okay.
trees are in.
Okay, good.
They look like arborvitaes as far as I can tell. They're about the height of the fence, so they're probably 6 feet tall at this point.
And then anything else?
Well, I will say, I will comment that I did actually hear from a resident on Depot Road asking me about the, what appears to be a trucking operation at the Lapa Farm. And they called me because they know me to ask about it. And I told them that they should get in touch with Kyle.
The the electrical stuff that's
Yeah,
the trucks
yeah.
that are being parked there?
Yeah, they should bring that to,
Code enforcement,
yeah. 'cause
zoning enforcement.
You might remember that was brought up by somebody at a different
Yes.
a meeting that we had.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I actually drove by, but I did hear actually from a neighbor saying that the trucks have been driving really fast on Depot Road, which brought that to their attention, and so they followed one night and realized that they were going into the Lapa property.
Did they report it to the police or any?
Actually, they did.
town?
They reported the speeding truck to
speeding
the
truck.
police, and actually the police did address that. They did, and actually, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's one of those automated radar signs on Depot Road
like
now.
on Main Street here?
Yeah, I don't know how often, if those get moved around, but this one is actually hanging on a pole.
There's one on Prospect Street too,
Yeah.
Went up,
on Main.
coming around the
Yeah.
corner on Main Street.
Anyway, so he was going to get in touch with Kyle.
Very good.
All right. Yeah, because that's come up in bits and pieces
Right.
over the last few months, yeah. All right, motion to close.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting of April 28th.
I'll second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned at 6:26.
That was quick.